good evening, guys, to Index Infusion 90-day challenge ambassador session on a Wednesday, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. guys. We are just buzzing from the amazing event that we had yesterday. Just drop in the chat box one thing that you are grateful for, because one thing I am grateful for, guys, is the Wealthier World family. It really showed what connections can do, what your network can do when there is a room full of people that probably wouldn't be in that space in the usual times, now learning about crypto, now being able to network with other people, now being able to be side by side with Curtis Cobain and Mike Sotero, Matt Rosa, Ivan Paychecks. Like, it was something that a lot of people have been excited and have been looking forward to for so long. So it's amazing. So Charmaine said grateful for health. Love that. Marcia said grateful for being in this space. Amazing. Malvina said grateful for your family and the Wealthier World family. Deborah, grateful for meeting everyone yesterday. Lots of source and gems. Yep, Anna said grateful for all the gems yesterday as well. Listen, I don't know if you guys, but you guys' notebook should have been full. Your phone should have been full. So much information that was given that now we need to take action on. And here at Wealthier World, we are so big on taking action. There is no point sitting in that room, guys, and taking all of those notes about all the coins and the projects that they gave us that we could get into and how to protect our assets and all of these things. There's no point taking the notes if we're not going to take action, guys. So drop a 1 in the chat box if you are going to take action. Drop a 2 in the chat box if you've already started to take action, guys, right? Because I know a lot of people that have already started to take action. They've jumped on, they bought this coin, they set up this, they set up that. Amazing, guys. Shout outs to you in the chat box right now, because that is what it is about. I'm going to tell you guys that there's been things that I haven't taken action on. And then a few months down the line, I'm kicking myself because I'm like, oh, that coin was like £1 and now it's like £4 and I absolutely slept on it, right? So we've got to take action, especially in this world. Everything is about timing. Everything is about timing. You want to be able to position yourself in the best way possible, right? In the best way possible. So guys, today we are going to go back to a few basics. We're going to jump on TradingView. Who was on my session last week? Drop a 3. Who was on my session last week? Last week we went through structure in the market, right? How to read the structure, how to look at the lower lows, the lower highs, the higher lows, and what that meant. Right, we also looked at support and resistance, how to find your support and how to find your resistance, right? You guys said that was quite helpful. Gutted that I didn't record it, but it's okay. I will do another session on that in the near future. But one thing that I learned about trading, no matter whether you're doing DCX, FRX, HFX, you have to be able to understand how the market is moving, because the market essentially is telling you a story. It's telling you what has happened in the past. And in order to know what has happened in the past, it's going to let you know what could possibly happen in the future. So having that ability to read the charts, to understand what it's telling you, it's going to make you understand the copy and paste trades a lot better. It's going to enable you to do your own markups to get those results as well. It's going to enable you to know when to move your stop loss, right? All of these things that we need to know in order to get the best results, because yes, you come into this opportunity and we say, yes, you can copy and paste, because of course you can, and you get those results. But in order to get the best results, you really need to know how to manage your trades. How to manage your trades, how to protect your risk, how to make sure you're not risking too much, right? How to make sure that you're getting the profit and we're not getting overzealous and greedy with that as well. So trade management is really what bridges the gap between a novice and someone who is getting the best results. We all know how to place a trade, right? We all know how to press buy or sell and put in the parameters. That is something that you learn in your first week of coming into Wealthier World. But what we want to do now is we want to make sure that you are able to manage your trade. So you really are learning the skill. And I really want to go back to the basics, because it's important that when we do tell people about this opportunity, we understand that we go through stages. We've all gone through the stages, and drop a 1 in the chat box if you've gone through that stage of, yes, a trader's dropped in Discord, I can copy, paste it, make money, right? I can copy, paste it, make money. That is literally all you need to take the first step. Because if you think about it, before you came into this space, I didn't know what MetaTrader 4 was. I didn't know how to place a trade. I never knew that XAU USD meant gold, right? So we, number one, need to understand that we are learning a lot as soon as we step foot in the door. But then we know that we can progress in order to get those best results, right? In order to get those best results. And that's what these sessions are for. That's what Go Live is for, is in order to break it down a little bit, so then you can see just how simple it really is. You can see how simple it really is. And we just go to basics. So guys, we are going to go, I don't know if Mimi is on this call today. I can't see her. She asked to talk about TradingView, so we will talk about that as well. But let me get this up, guys. All right, so first things first, guys. I am, of course, the Index Infusion ambassador. What is Index Infusion? So Index Infusion is a tool within the FRX/Elite Pack that gives you copy and paste trades, in allowing you to get amazing results really, really quickly. So let me ask you guys this, another power of plugging in. Lisa, a bit earlier, dropped in an NZD JPY trade. Drop an NZD in the chat box if you got into that trade, right? Drop an NZD in the chat box if you got into that trade, right? Charmaine does not like that trade, but Charmaine, look, it hit TP. It's on its way to TP2. Love it, right? So guys, we got the trade called here. So wherever the blue arrow is, right, that is where the trade was called. So we logged on. Lisa was like, oh, amazing, right? Right at the entry, gonna call this trade, call the trade in within half an hour, maybe, I don't even think it was an hour, smash TP1, now on its way to TP2, right? Nice and simple. This is what I mean, guys. You can make money from copying and pasting. So easy, right? So easy. And this is what I loved about Index Infusion, because when I was working, I worked as a demanding job, and I didn't have the time to necessarily jump on Go Live as much as I would like to, and do my own markups as much as I would like to. And that is why this platform is so amazing for anyone from any walks of life, because you are able to do things like come onto Index Infusion, you get an alert to your phone that says there is a new trade idea. You log on, you see the trade idea, you place it, you're good. Don't even have to worry about it, right? So nice and simple, easy for anyone who says that they're busy or they've got a lot going on. So guys, this trade, smash TP1. Now, guys, if you're still in a trade and you went to TP2, you would have protected your risk. And that is what we're going to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk about protecting your risk. And we're also going to speak about how you're counting pips in order to know how much you are actually risking and good stuff like that, right? So what you'll notice is that the interfaces on IM all are similar, like they're all TradingView, right? They are all a chart from TradingView. And what I tend to do is I tend to copy the trades from Index Infusion or from any educator onto my own personal TradingView. The reason for that is because then I can monitor the trades, I can set my alerts if I need to, right? But then also what I can do is I can see the zones for next time. So I know if NZD JPY came back to my buy zone, I could look at potentially buying again, right? Let me know if that makes sense. So we are going to scoot over to TradingView, guys. Drop a T into the chat box if you use TradingView already. If you're good with it, you know how it works. Drop a T in the chat box. I do love TradingView, definitely my fave. Most definitely my favorite. All right, so is this NZ? No. All right, so let's do NZDJPY, right? All right, amazing, loads of T's. Just to highlight, is there anyone who doesn't know how to use TradingView? Let me know now, so then I can go a little bit slower. Let me know now. Movina, no worries, girl, I got you. All right, so Movina, tradingview.com is where you want to be logged into, right? It's free, although there are pop-ups that tell you to pay. You do not need to right away. So it is free. And I'm going to break it down to you just so you can see how to mark up a chart. So you may have heard people say mark up charts and you might think, okay, yeah, that sounds really confusing. Essentially, guys, the basics of it is putting lines on the chart, right? So we are here, NZD, JPY, and when I'm copying from Vibrata, I just want to make sure I'm on the correct time zone. So here it says 1 hour. On my TradingView, it says 1 hour, right? So we're going to look for our entry first. So our entry was 76.915, right? 76.915. So I'm going to go over here. These are all the tools that you can use on TradingView. So we're going to go to our trend line tools. We're going to click this little arrow, and then I'm going to go to horizontal line. Now you can place the trade, the line anywhere. So I'm just going to do this one. And then up the top, you have a toolbar, or you can double click it, and that will take you to your settings. So now we've got the coordinates. I'm going to change it to 76.915. I like my entry lines to be green, like lime green. That's just how I like it. And then I'm going to click OK, right? So that is the entry. Malvina, let me know if that makes sense. If you're on TradingView doing it along with me, anyone, please do let me know if I'm moving too fast, right? Let me just make sure I got my chat box up. Yes, okay, great. Let me just put my chat box down there so I can see you guys. All right, so that is my entry line. So take profit number one, 77.009. So I'm going to go back to that same horizontal line. I'm going to plot it anywhere. I'm going to change it so my take profits are blue, 77.009. Right, that is TP1. If you want to add text, guys, you can add the text to say TP1. If that helps you, if that is easier. Right. And then TP2, guys, TP2 is 77.317. Yeah. So that's TP2. So in Discord, Lisa I will put a TP 1.5, right? This is something that you can do in order to just protect your money a little bit more. So she put 77 to 100, right? So we'll put that line as well. Amazing, right? Last but not least, we have our stop loss. So our stop loss is 76.710, right? 76.710. 76.710, and the stop loss is red. All right, amazing, great. So this is our trade. This is the trade that we were in or may still be in, depending on if you went to TP1 and TP2, right? Malvina, let me know if that was simple enough. Everyone else, let me know you're all good, right? This is the trade. I just copied it from Index Infusion. Nice and simple. Got it, amazing, love that. Love that, love that, love that. So, we spoke about, last time we spoke about resistance, we spoke about supply and demand zones, all of that good stuff, right? All of that good stuff. So now what I want to speak about is how we are counting pips, right? How we counting pips? How do we know how many pips our take profit is? How do we know how many pips our stop loss is? How do we know our risk to reward, right? How do we know our risk to reward? How many times have you heard the phrase risk to reward, right? How many times have you heard the phrase risk to reward? Because it is a super, super important one, right? Very, very, very important to know what we are risking. And drop into the chat box, what is your ideal risk to reward? Or what should I'll say, what is your minimum risk to reward, right? What is the lowest risk to reward you want? Drop into the chat box if you know the answer to that. All right, when you're risking. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. All right, you guys have got it. 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2. What does that mean? What does 1 to 2 mean? So it means that you are risking 1 to get 2 parts. So let's break it down. You are risking £1 to get £2. You're risking 10p to get 20p. You're risking £10 to get £20, right? So that is what your risk to reward is. So you do not want to be risking more than your reward is, right? That is not ideal. That is not what you want to be doing, right? So how does a risk to reward tool work? So let me just use a blank space. So on the side here, and this is what I love about TradingView as well, it makes it really, 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 really simple for you to be able to do things. So our risk to reward tool is here, right? Our long position and our short position, right? So our long position is when we're buying, our short position is when we are selling. So I'm just going to click on one of them. And you may have seen something like this. Let me know if you've seen this, you've seen educators use this, you've seen Lisa or Kim use this, right? So this is your risk to reward tool. This is your risk to reward tool. So if you guys can see in the middle where it says risk to reward ratio, it says 1. So this, guys, is a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Why is that? Because the green box and the red box are exactly the same size. So if this red box symbolized £10, I am risking £10 to gain £10, right? So that is a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? If I wanted to do a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, oh, geez. Right, so now we have one box, £10, 2 boxes can fit into this green area, £2. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, guys, right? So that is a 1-to-2. You can see that it's changed to 2 now, right? So this is how your risk to reward works. So sometimes, guys, our copy and paste trades don't necessarily have a 1-to-2, a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio, right? And that is something that we need to be wary of when we are trading, right? Something that we need to be wary of, because if we look at this now, so it's here, prediction and measurement tools. We are looking for a long position because we are indeed buying. We place it onto our entry line, right? We place it onto our entry line and we take it to here. So this is our stop loss, right? And then we take it to our take profit, right? So our TP1 is not a very good risk to reward. You can see this, right? So we can see here that is, we are risking more than we are going for. So this is why when I placed this trade, I went for a TP2 to manage my risk, right? To make sure that I was going to gain at least the same amount as here. So if we take this up, right? Now we're at a 1-to-2, right? Now we are at a 1-to-2. So now we are risking less than we will gain if it comes and hits take profit 2, right? So we want to be wary of that when we're placing a trade, just so we know how much we are risking, right? So that is your risk to reward tool in short form, right? In short form, that is your risk to reward. So it's still coming up. So what I would say, guys, is if anyone was still holding out for TP2 or TP1.5, right? Then what I would do, as soon as I am getting into profit or it's hit TP1, I'm going to move my stop loss, right? We move our stop loss. You can move it to entry, just above entry here, which means if it does come back down, then you haven't won anything per se, but you also haven't lost anything. So now my stop loss is here. I'm in a risk-free trade. So my risk no longer matters. Then I can decide, actually, I'm just going to close the trade. I'm happy with my money. Or, okay, I'm just going to keep going, right? And let it keep going up. So we've moved our risk to reward. We've moved our stop loss to 76.922. That was a rough estimate, guys, right? But you don't want to move it exactly to entry because there are fees and swaps, right? So have you guys seen that if you're moving your stop loss and your entry is exactly 76.915, you do not want to move your stop loss to 76.915, because then if the trade does come down, you will be minus like 7p or 14p, depending on what your lot size is. Drop a 1 in the chat box if that makes sense. So you want it to be a little bit above your entry, right? You want it to be a little bit above your entry so you don't get stopped out with the fees as well, right? But understand that this means that you are breaking even. So if you are currently in profit, you don't necessarily really want to break even, right? So you could also move your stop loss now, right, to take profit 1, because then you know if it does come back down, at least you are out at take profit 1. At least you hit TP1. Yes, you wanted to go for TP2, but at least you hit take profit 1, right? This is how you are managing your trades, guys, right? And I get it. There's some times where you're not going to be looking at your phone, and that is okay. But times when you are, or if you have an alert set on it, then you know what's happening. So on TradingView, you could set an alert for take profit 1, right? So if we go, if I right click, we go to here, the alarm clock, and you set an alert, then the alert will go off when I hit take profit 1. You'll get that on your phone, and then you can say, okay, it's hit take profit 1. Let me take a look. Let me see. I'm going to move my stop loss now, right? I'm going to protect my account, right? So that is something that you can do in order to move your stop loss to make sure that you are protecting your account. It's called, there's a saying called trailing your stop loss, which means that you move your stop loss up and up and up and up and up to protect your money, right? We are here to protect our money. We're not here to turn a winning trade into a losing trade, right? We all know that. So let's go. Let's talk about counting pips. Let's talk about counting pips. How many of you guys know how to count pips? Drop a me in the chat box if you know how to count pips. Great, amazing. Anyone know how to count pips? Not really, no worries, Nasilia. Charmaine said, yeah. Charmaine, I might just get you on to count gold because why not? Took you ages. Yeah, it took me ages as well. Not gonna lie, absolutely not gonna lie. There's many ways I do it, to be honest. Many ways. Many ways. Yes, and that's the thing as well. So different currencies counting pips in different ways. So how you count Bitcoin isn't how you count gold, isn't how you count certain currency pairs, isn't how you count Ethereum. So this is why notes are really important, and plugging into your educators and making sure that you know what you're counting when you're counting them, right? So we're going to do NZDJPY at the moment, right? So I'm going to do a little test. We can have a guess. So our entry, guys, is 76.915, right? Our take profit. Actually, let's do our stop loss. Our stop loss is 76.710, right? So talk to me, guys. If you have an idea or if you want to guess, how many pips do you think it is from our entry to our stop loss? Just take a guess. Like, you can, how do you think we would work that out, right? How do you think we would work it out? I'm going to show you 2 to 3 different ways that you can do it, but how do you think we would work that out? Drop into the chat box, or guys, if you wish to talk it through, then you can unmute as well if you wish to talk it through. Let me know. How do you think we're going to work this out? There is a video in the academies about how to count pips. Who else does an amazing video? Manny Q does an amazing video on how to count pips. Anyone got an idea? All right, Sheba, so go for it. Do the calculation and let me know what number you get. Do the calculation, let me know. So it's the entry, we're doing the entry to the stop loss, right? So you've got 20, amazing. Anyone else? Anyone else? No worries, Pastor Victor, thank you for coming on. All right, so we've got 20. All right, amazing. So first way to count pips, guys. The first way to count pips is, I would say, the cheating way, right? The easy way. So on the side here, we have what is a ruler, right? We have a ruler called measure. What we will do is we will put that ruler on our green line. We will take it down to our red line, right? We will take it down to our red line. And here you can see that we are at 20.6 pips. It's actually 20.5, but it's because I dragged it down too much, right? So you were correct, right? Absolutely correct, Shiva. We are gonna divide, we're gonna take away the stop loss from the entry or vice versa. The second way, guys, is a good old calculator. I want you to get your calculator out and type in 76.915 minus 76.710, right? Get your calculator out, drop into the chat box. What did you get? Amazing, amazing. All right, so we are going to take away the decimal point. So we're going to be left with 20.5, right? So it's 20.5 pips. Let me show you why. Because when we're counting pips, this is how we go down. We want to go through the manual way. And the manual way is important because we don't always, I mean, we always have a calculator because the calculator is literally on our phone, right? But you may not have trading view. So this is a way that Patrick Kenny actually taught me. So I don't know if we have any Delo peeps here, right? But what he taught me, well, let me just boost up this font a bit. All right, is to, so these, the 5 and the 0, these are called pipettes, right? These are called pipettes. So we're going to cross them off for now, right? Oh, would be better if I had a better color. So we're going to cross that off. And then what we want to do is we want to focus on the next 3 numbers. Don't worry about the decimal point for now, just the next 3 numbers, right? So we are going to divide, we're going to do 691 minus 671, which is 20, right? So our trade is 20 pips. Right? So our trade is 20 pips. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. So that is the mental arithmetic kind of way, the trading view kind of way, and the calculator kind of way, right? So you know everyone, for whatever circumstances that you are in, you will know how to count the pips. So you guys said yes. All right, amazing. Let me, you know, I love a test, guys. So we're gonna do another one just real quick, and then we're gonna move on to a gold one, right? So we are going to work out the difference between, I don't want it to be too hard for you guys. So we are gonna work out the difference between TP1, which is 77.009, and we are gonna go to TP2, which is 77.31. Yeah, amazing. All right, so guys, talk to me, drop into the chat box. What is the difference between these two, right? I got, yes. So just move the decimal point. Does this apply to all pairs? So Nasilia, this is the thing. So yes and no. So currency pairs, yes. We're gonna go through gold, which is a little bit different. We're gonna go through, well, Lisa always goes through Bitcoin, which is also a little bit different. Yeah, but currency pairs, we're good, right? Lowry, did you want to say something or did you unmute by accident?
Oh, sorry, muted by mistake, sorry.
No worries. All right, so what is you guys think? So I've got 31 pips, 31 pips, 30 pips, right? 31, 30, 30. So let's do it, right? So if we do it the old school way, the mathematical way, we're going to get rid of the 2 ends and we're going to focus on the 3. And you guys can see this was an easy one, right? I didn't even look. So yes, we have 31, right? 31 pips, because you don't need the calculator for this, right? We can see it right here in front of us. If we Oh, I don't want to draw anymore. Thanks. Oh, actually, this brush really does stress me out sometimes, not gonna lie. All right, so if we get the measuring tool and we go from TP1 to TP2, right? We are looking at 30.9, 31 pips, right? Amazing, guys. So you know how to count pips on currency pairs. Great. So while we were on this call, the amazing Lisa Powell dropped in a gold trade. So we're going to mark this up real quick. Real quick. I really need to turn up the brightness on my phone. Amazing. All right, so let's talk about gold, guys. Let's talk about gold. We do have the Princess of Gold on the call as well. Big up yourself, Charmaine. So, a gold sell. So our entry, guys, for gold. Remember, we are marking this up. So this is from Golden Girl. Absolutely love her as an educator. She's a naked trader, really basic, but just breaks it down to you so simply. So her entry is 1870, right? The take profit is 1860. Feel free to mark this up alongside with me, guys. The more you do it, the more you'll get the hang of it, right? Let me just change that to blue. Stop loss is 1875. Let's just put TP2 in there as well for you guys. For my people that like to hold the trade. 1852. First things first, guys. This is a swing trade. Drop in the chat box. What is a swing trade, right? Let me know. Drop your explanation into the chat box. What is a swing trade? What does that mean? It's really important you guys know the lingo, the terminology, so you know what to expect when you're in a trade. Super, super, super important, right? Holding your trade, a longer trade over hours or days, amazing, right? So yes, a swing trade is a long trade, normally lasts a few days. So therefore you need not to worry or think, what is it doing? Or it's moving a little bit slow or anything like that, right? A swing trade means that it is moving through a few zones, right? It's going to take a bit of time. That's okay. I personally like swing trades, just means that I just have to do less, you get a lot more, right? So this is a swing trade. So we have our entry, take profit, stop loss. First things first, guys. Using the naked eye, does this look like we have a more than 1 to 2 risk to reward? Yay or nay? I hope you guys are in this trade, by the way. Just saying. Does it look like you have a 1 to 2 or more risk to reward? Yay or nay? Drop in a chat box. Let me know what, looking at it with your naked eye, what are you thinking? Yeah. Yes. Amazing. 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 We're going to mark that up. And then Nasilia, I think you got a question. So what position am I looking for on my risk to reward tool if I am selling, guys? Is it my long position or is it my short position? Wow, this gold is running, isn't it? Yes, Nasilia, sure. I love that you're listening to me. It makes me very happy. All right, amazing. So short position, right? So I'm going to put it on here. No worries, Marcia. Enjoy your yoga session. Yes, definitely. Index infusion is so much more important. No, I'm joking. Enjoy. All right, so we are here and we're gonna just budge this up to TP1, right? Amazing. So we've got just over a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Absolutely amazing, right? Lovely trade, lovely, lovely, lovely trade. This looks real good, right? So we are risking less than we are going to win, right? So you guys that said yes, amazing, great. So let's talk pips, guys. Let's talk pips. So like, I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, but when we are doing gold, we are indeed doing it in tens. So 1870, that's our entry, right? 1875, that is our stop loss. Let me know in the chat box, have a guess, guys, have a guess. How many pips is that? Have a guess. There isn't, well, there is a right answer, but how many guess is it, right? Drop in the chat box. Drop in the chat box. Right? Gail, not amazing. Smashed it, right? 50. 50. Why? Because we are going up in tens now. So 1870 to 1875, you would think that's 5, right? Basic maths, that's going to be 5. But this end number is 10. It's not 1, right? So you can do it either way. You can say it's 5 times by 10, 50. Or you can just count it in your head, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let me know if that makes sense, Nasilia, and everyone else in the chat, let me know if that makes sense, right? So that isn't 5 pips, it's 50 pips. Same mental arithmetic, you are going to be taking 1870 away from 1875 and then timesing it by 10. So I think that's how I would do it. 1870 minus 1875 times by 10. So you will be risking 50 pips, right? You will be risking 50 pips. So if we just write here, 50 pips, right? Amazing. So then we have our entry to our take profit, which is 1870 to 1860, right? Drop in the chat box, guys. How many pips is that? How many pips is that? How many pips is that? 1870 to 1860. All right, anyone else? Let me know that you guys have got it. Let me know if you don't got it. I will explain again. We've got 2 answers. Anyone else? Anyone else? Let me know. All right, so we've got a mixture. So the answer is 100. So amazing, Sheba and Nasilia, 100. Why? Because we didn't times it exactly, Gail, right? So maths, 1870 minus 1860 is 10. Times by 10, 100, right? No worries, Anna. I've definitely done that so many times. So 100 pips, right? There we go. So like we said, this is a 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 and perfect example, right? This is how we know it all ties up because we have 50 pips risk for 100 pips gain. Love it. Amazing. I thought we cancelled the numbers at the end. That's for a currency pair, right? That's for a currency pair. Here, we have no decimal, right? So technically it would be this. That's what it would be like. Right? So if we did it like this, and we did how we did before, so we cross it here, we cross it here, we look at the three numbers, and the three numbers, 700 minus 600 is 100, right? Multiple ways to count pips, multiple ways to count pips. You guys got that? You guys all good with that? That is gold, right? That is gold. So I'm going to open up the floor for any questions. So Nasilia, if you had a question still, please feel free to unmute. Any questions, guys, about what I have gone through today before we wrap up this call? Time really does fly. It really, really does. So any questions, please feel free to unmute.
Hi, Jade, sorry, still help. My question was regarding the pairs. I just wanted to know the reason why you canceled the last digit, because one of them was 9 and that would be closer to actually 1. So I don't get that bit.
That was for NZDJPY.
Yeah.
It was here. It was the 5 and the 5 and the 10.
Oh, we did do another one. It's not.
This one. This one. Oh, 1 minute. Why is this still drawing? This one. So it's a pipette. So you don't, when you're counting pips, you don't really count the pipette. So what it did is it gave us 31, but instead it's 30.9. So essentially it still rounds up to 31. So this is a pip and this is a pipette. So it's like a baby one.
Okay.
But it still rounded us up to 31. It wouldn't have made us 32.
That's what I was thinking, because that would be closer to 32.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
Thanks for that.
No worries. With the ruler tool, would you ignore the last digit? With which one? With gold, with different ones, yes. And this is where practice really does come into it. So NZDJPY, for example, right? You will look here and it's just 20.5, right? 20.5, that is your pip count. That's just your normal pip. Regarding gold, with the tool, with the ruler, we would be here. It comes to 1,000. So yes, you would take off 1. You would take off the last number to 100. That is correct. You would drop the last number. USD JPY count confuses me. Okay, let's do USD JPY. I think that's probably the one that sometimes confuses me as well, but we will always get there. So those are points. So sometimes like indices are counted on points and not pips. Can we do another gold calculation? Sure. All right, let's do USD JPY first. So this is USD JPY. So let's just do a random few lines. USD JPY. right, so as you can tell, guys, I literally just made that up. All right, so let's go. Let me just close this. So let me just round up these numbers a bit just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. All right, so our entry is 115.5 and our stop loss is 115.410. All right, guys, drop into the chat box. How do we think we're going to work that one out? So yeah, not so much stock markets, but indices trading. No, this isn't gold. This is USD JPY. This is USD JPY. So it will be similar to the NZD JPY that we did. Have a wild guess, guys. All right, so Larry said 9, Sheba said 90. 90. All right, amazing, amazing. All right, so first way. Ruler on the entry down to here. I'm trying to be as precise as possible. But yeah, okay. Right. So we do, so I get why you're confused on anyway. Anyway, so I get oh, for goodness sake. Okay, yes, bless import, here I come. Sure, let's go for it. So yes, I get it. It is 90 pips. And this is why we need to write things down, guys, right? Because it gets confusing. Which one do you round up? Which one do you round down? Which one do you times by 10? Like, what we need to understand about the markets is it's not necessarily like everything. The currencies don't move in the same way. They're not counted in the same way. I'm glad that this isn't a real trade because I literally just made it up. But it's just about working out which one works for you, right? So when I did the calculator, I got 0.09, right? 0.09. So yes, we multiplied this by 10 because that is not 9 pips because that would be quite a big trade for 9 pips, right? So if we do old school way again, we cross off the ends. Then we'll end up with 9, but yes, times it by 10. And Lowy wanted to do another gold one. Amazing. So So let's go on to gold. Gold is basically back at entry, guys. Gold is basically back at entry. So let's do another gold one. So we are gonna do $18.70, which is our entry to our take profit 2, which is $18.52. Right? Take it away, guys. How many pips is that? How many pips is 1870 to TP2, which is 1852? Anyone? Anyone know? So this is gold, remember, guys, right? This is gold. Amazing. Anyone else? We've got a mixture of numbers. Anyone else for anyone else? So guys, Nasilia, if we're doing the maths, right? Let me get my calculator up. And I said I can't add. Girl, listen, this is why we have calculators, I'm telling you. This is why I love it, right? So 1870 minus 1852, right? 1870 minus 1852 is 180. Oh, it's actually 18 times by 10 is 180. You guys got that? You guys got that? Drop a 1 if you guys got that. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All the ones are there. Great. Great, 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 great. All right, guys. So last week I set some homework. So who is on this call? So guys, big up Gail for dropping in her homework, guys. Put some G's in the chat box for Gail. Last week I asked to mark up your supply and demand, your support and resistance zones on a 1 day, a 4-hour chart, right? Yes, Charmaine, you hide your face. Yeah, I see you. So Gail, congratulations, well done. Thank you for taking part and doing it so beautifully as well, right? You had some amazing, amazing zones. You did mark it up on gold, and of course, gold went on an absolute mad one, but your zones are great. So I would love to see how, when they come back into those zones, how it plays out. So thank you so much. We also had, I know Melissa Jane isn't on the call, guys, but put some M's in the chat for Melissa Jane. She also did it as well. Thank you so much for submitting your homework. And we also had Abby who did it as well, guys, right? So I love that you guys are taking it in for yourself. You are plugging in, you are doing the necessary work to understand how to get the best results. So homework for this time, guys. Homework for this time is to give me a trade, any trade, if it's a copy and paste trade, whatever trade it is, right? Mark it up on your trading view, do your risk to reward here, and tell me your pips, right? Tell me the pips. So we want it to look like this, right? So when you submit it in the index infusion section, have it look like what it does here, right? So if you want to take a picture of that, so you will have your entry, your stop loss, your take profits. you will have your risk to reward for your to take profit 1, and then you'll have 50 pips stop loss, 100 pips take profit, for example, right? So guys, drop a free in the chat box if you are committing to that homework, guys. There is an index infusion section in Discord for you to drop in your results. Drop a free in the chat box if you are committing to doing that homework, guys. You are going to be able to learn, right? You are going to be able to practice this, so then you can start to see it in the charts for yourself and understand what is happening. You will start to understand your risk, right? Which is important. We know that 50 pips on a 0.01, guys, it's gonna be £5. We know that. So then you don't have to worry, you don't have to make it up, you're good, right? So get to understand how this works, right? So I've got the freeze, guys. I'm all about accountability. So I'm just gonna take my phone and I'm gonna take a picture of these frees so I can see your homework. We will go through it next week. Oh, I've got a random flash on there. We will go through it next week. Yeah, Charmaine, I see you. I see you. All right, guys. So if no one has any more questions, we are going to wrap it up, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, I will upload this onto my YouTube and I'll drop it in the Index Infusion section so you guys can review that as well. Any questions, just let me know. We will always allow questions at the end of the call, and I am here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. This is available for your friends as well. If they want to come on and just get a little bit of a breakdown of what the markets mean, feel free to invite them on as well. Spread the word, and I love you guys a lot, and I will see you guys. We've got opportunity call at 7:30, so that's in 15 minutes today. And yeah, I will see you guys in the charts and in Discord. So have an amazing, amazing evening, guys. Bye.